Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another Detective Comics review, and in this Detective Comics review I'll be covering issues 1069 and 1070, or 1069 and 1070, and starting off with the first things first, do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? For the first one on the left hand side, I give a 7 out of 10, as it sort of does, and the same again for the second cover. It's now time to move into having a look at the internal art. For both of these issues, I will not be covering the backstories, so it's only going to be the main stories. And let's see if there's actually been any improvement with the actual storytelling, as it's been a while since I've reviewed this on the channel, and it's because I've lost interest. And let's see if Ravi is able to get me back interested back in the series again. So now I'll get things prepared to cover the first issue. So as we move into the first, 1069, we get to see quite a bit of art here, and here we've got a lot of reflection, once again, back to Bruce Wayne's past. Moving into the present, we get to see a little bit more that's taking place, and we get to catch up with Bullock and Gordon, so Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock, along with one of the Orkhams. We get to catch up with Renee Montoya, who is presently commissioner right now. I do somewhat enjoy this interaction between Jim Gordon and Bruce Wayne, or Batman. Okay, so what we see on this side is actually going to play a bit of a bigger part in the next issue. We get to meet up with Cheshire until we finally catch up with Solomon Grundy. Of course, there's some of the art of the next issue, or the next story in this, which I once again will not be covering. But if you want to check it out for yourself. As we move into the next issue, we have Solomon Grundy taking on some of, I think it's the Occam's people, and we have Cheshire there. So this is obviously one person that they don't have control over. We catch up once again with Bruce Wayne dropping into the cemetery, until we eventually catch up with Talia al Ghul. We get to see some of the things that are connected to the past once again. Batman goes into a different district, which is really nice to see. Definitely some interesting artwork here in relation to Talia al Ghul. We find out what's happening with Oracle at the clock tower. Alright, and what was shown in the last issue, moving over into this issue, to which we have the Vigil intervene. And this is about the somewhat only exciting small part that's in relation to him. And that completes that. So for the internal art, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story racing. So first things first, did we get any comic references? Because comic references are important to indicate the show when you might bring up something important in a story, and it might take place in, say, maybe 4 or 5 issues back, or even the last issue or the previous issue. Was any of that mentioned? No, or even many hundreds of issues back? Not at all. About the only indication that we did get to see a comic reference, but it's not recorded down, was actually in the backstory, and I'm not covering the backstory here, to which it actually made reference to a couple of the previous issues of the Detective Comics run. But because it's not in the main run, you're losing some points here, V. The prologue was great, but as we're starting to move into Act 1, it's still not super great. The next area is that of times, which we had now being used to address time. Locations that took place within both of these issues, we had Gotham, Dr. Joy's apartment, the clock tower headquarters. We also had Harvey Bullock's and Jim Gordon's private investigative agency that was there too. And we also had the cemetery, and last but not least, the water district. So in that, it was actually really nice in bringing that over in the story, and it was really well executed. Just in some places, it could be still a little bit more clearer, such as the previous things that I brought up. Last but not least, the cast of characters. We had, of course, Batman, Two-Face, Jim Gordon, Harvey Bullock. We had Gale. We had Montoya, or Renee Montoya. We had Cheshire. We had Solomon Grundy. We had Oregon. We had the Arzen family members, or the Organ family members. We had Talia al Ghul, Raish, and a person known as Castle, who almost sort of sounds like a type of chess piece type of character. So just the way it's brought up. For the overall story rating, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's still not crash hot. So I don't know how we'll go with the next upcoming issues, and if I actually choose to review it on the channel. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.